We wanted to interview the King of Chicago, and somehow we're stuck here in the desert. And I'm thirsty. Jason. Oh, soft hands.
It's Be Your Own Fan TV with your host, Tyler Taminia. Sponsored by M-Style Marketing.
Let's head over to the MLB office and sit down with Mr. Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago White Sox. Jerry, you've always been a winner. How did you do it?
Luck.
Just luck?
Well, you have to have a certain amount of luck. You have to work hard. And you have to be honest. And I haven't always been a winner. I've had some losers, but to be successful in life, you have to be honest. You have to work hard, and you do need a certain amount of luck in the form of help from other people.
You have a reputation for being loyal with your employees and the people that you surround yourself with, and it works for you. So what's the secret with that?
Well, I think you want people to do good jobs. You want people to be loyal to you. You have to give loyalty to them. But it's important not to be loyal to people who don't deserve the loyalty. I mean, my job essentially, as any other CEO's, is to be a facilitator. It's to find the right people to do jobs, and create an environment for them to do their jobs. And in order to get the right kind of people, you have to make them feel that they're happy and they're being treated well, and that you're going to be loyal to them. But you also have to expect them to be loyal to you.
Right. So why don't you bring us back a little bit? You're a Brooklyn boy, and then now you're the King of Chicago. So between that and where you are now, you were real estate first, and you always had this passion to be a sports owner, or why don't you talk a little bit about...
Well, I don't know about the King of Chicago business, but I was a Brooklyn boy.
Come on.
I was a Brooklyn boy. I'll always be a Brooklyn boy. But I came to Chicago to go to law school, and after I graduated from law school, I stayed in Chicago and worked as an attorney for the Internal Revenue Service, and then I became a tax lawyer in private practice, and then I got involved in making real estate investments for clients, and then after that, sports. And there was a lot of luck along the way. I had a company that I built up and then sold, and a few years later, the real estate business kind of turned sour. If I hadn't sold it when I did, I wouldn't have gotten nearly as much money for it as I did. So there's the luck element.
How would you describe the Reinsdorf leadership style?
Get out of the way. No, and I'll elaborate on that. My style basically is to identify the jobs that have to be performed, get the right people to do those jobs, and make sure that they talk to each other. I have to have the vision, long-range planning, and I'm responsible for the overall vision of the company. But my job is not to do all the work. My job is to find people who can do the various jobs in the business better than I could.
What's that style between an owner and a general manager?
Well, I think it depends on who the owner and the general manager are. But Kenny Williams and I have been together since 1982. First, when he was a player, and then an executive. And so, we're pretty close. We know how each other thinks. His job is to identify talent and to evaluate talent. My job is to make sure he doesn't spend too much money on that talent.
That's right.
but I want to understand what he's doing, and what his thought process is. I set an overall goal, for the organization, but I have to let him do his job.
Yeah. Well, speaking of evaluating talent, I know how important scouting is to you. Talk about your involvement.
Scouting is the lifeblood of of our game. I mean, I know it's pretty common or these days, to look at statistics and computer printouts and things like that. Statistical models will never take the place of a gut feel that a scout only a good qualified scout can have. And these guys, work awfully hard. They're hardly ever at home. They don't get paid enough money, but without them, we don't have a game.
Jerry, what needs to be done in order to get scouts into Cooperstown?
Oh, I think that's a long way off.
Yeah?
We got to get coaches in first, and I'm not sure that actually we'll ever get scouts or coaches into the Hall of Fame. But I certainly would like to get some kind of a recognition for them. I mean, right now we recognize writers and broadcasters. Now they don't become Hall of Fame members.
Right.
They win the Frick Award and the Spink Award. They're not Hall of Fame members, although they like to call themselves Hall of Famers, but they're not. But I don't see why they are more important to our game than coaches and scouts.
Yeah, I mean, even an exhibit would be, right? I mean,
I think there should be an award for coaches and scouts. At least put them on the same level as writers and broadcasters.
I know how much charity and community involvement means to you. Can you talk about the significance of that?
Well, teams take an awful lot out of a community. I mean, after all, look at the support that we get. Why does anybody go to a ball game and root for one team to win? They could just easily go to the movies. They invest their hearts and souls and money into ball clubs, and I think that creates an obligation on our part to not only try to win for them, but to give back to the community, and that's why we've tried to do it. And we can, and it's easy. I mean, because we can leverage ourselves. The typical company that wants to be charitable can make cash contributions. Yeah. Well, we can make cash contributions, but we can do other things. I mean, we can give away autographed items that charities can auction off for a whole lot of money. We can have players make appearances on behalf of the charities. There are a whole lot of things that we can do. We can allow charities to sell experiences at the ballpark. So, in addition to the cash that we give, we have elements of our business that can be leveraged so charities can raise more money.
I have to say, when you guys won the World Series, it was on my birthday. I took it as a personal gift from you. That
October 26th?
Yeah, October 26th.
Actually, we won 2 games on your birthday.
Yes. Again, I know it wasn't I know it wasn't a personal gift, but what's it going to take?
Well, you never know that you're going to win a World Series. But you also get to the postseason. Once you get to the postseason, then anything can happen. And this last year was kind of disappointing. We thought we'd get there, but we didn't. But in 05, we got there, and then all of a sudden we didn't lose. We lost 1 game.
It was amazing.
It was amazing. So we think we're pretty well set up for next year with great pitching staff, and I think a nice young club. But we'll see. It's a long way from sitting down here in the middle of winter to October.
Yeah. Well, you might be busy during the winter meeting, so.
Yeah, we might. I hope so.
So Jerry, what's a guy like you do in the off season?
Well, remember, I don't have an off season.
Right.
Right. I've got basketball, but I do spend the winter in Phoenix, and I enjoy the warm weather. And I usually have lunch with somebody that I know. I walk a lot, play with my dogs, take my wife's list at a grocery store, smoke a few cigars.
Like everybody else.
And I can get my work done out here because with a computer and a fax machine and a phone, it doesn't make much difference where I am. And I go back to Chicago periodically.
Absolutely. Well, great. Thanks for sitting down.
Thanks for schlepping all the way out here to Phoenix.
Stay tuned for our next webisode. We're heading back to New York City. We're going to be sitting down with Adam Zucker of the Topps Company. Take a look at some baseball cards. And the White Sox were nice enough while we were out here to give us a box of fandom. And I'll send it to the first person that tweets us. Jason, let them know how. Goodbye from Phoenix.